Okay, and then it'll take it just set to connect over here. And then the picture camera's on. Says I'm live. And we are live. We are a go for Travis.
We're good to go. Okay. It's 6 o'clock, according to mine. And yours too.
Yep.
I would call this meeting to order. Chris said he's sick today or under the weather, so he won't be able to make it today. But we do have a quorum, and I will open the meeting with a prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together tonight. We're thankful for the parents that we have here tonight. We're thankful for the staff that we have. We're thankful for the kids that we have, Lord. I pray that you be with the staff and guide them and give them wisdom to mold these young kids into fine young adults, Lord. We're so thankful for everybody that we have in our community, Lord. Lord, I pray that you be with those that are sick and ailing and be with them and heal their bodies. Lord, I pray that you bring the rain that we need. We're thankful for the rain that we've had this summer, and we pray that we get some more to help us out. Lord, I pray that you be with the young men and women who sacrifice so much in defense of our great nation. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Again, thank everybody for coming here today. We're thankful to have everybody on the first day of school for 25-26.
Yep.
See, we have a quorum here. Are there any changes that we need to make to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. Here,
I
motion.
move we adopt the agenda.
We have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
First item is public information. This is the point of the meeting where anybody can address the board to bring something before the board if you feel desired to do so. Anybody want to speak up?
So this is the second year in a row we've had an issue waiting on vaccination exemptions. By New Mexico state law, we are allowed 60 days prior to any actions by the school district with any actions against the children. And this is the second year in a row we went through the same thing, them saying that Tegan cannot attend school for the first day of school. It is wrote in law that we have 60 days for the approval process.
Okay. Can you tell me what the approval process is? I'm unfamiliar with it.
So the New Mexico Department of Health requires a form for approval of vaccination exemptions if you do not want to take vaccines.
If you do not want what?
Any vaccines.
Any vaccines, okay.
They have 60 days to approve, deny, or correlate some way to say either we need to fix this, fix that, whatever. We have 60 days.
Mm-hmm.
The school cannot implement a policy that goes against New Mexico state law. It is in writing for everyone to view online.
What is?
The vaccination policies of New Mexico with the school districts. The
You-
schools cannot implement a law or a rule per district saying your child cannot attend while we're waiting on the vaccination exemption form to be approved or denied. But today, again, they have said she cannot attend school on grounds for, which they still cannot show me in the handbook. And we had to argue with them today to allow Tegan into school, even though she was notified on the 28th. We are still waiting for the approval letter.
Even though who was notified?
Melissa was notified on the 28th via email with a copy of the exemption form that I sent to the state, letting her know that we were still waiting on the approval or denial. And the first day of school, Gracie informed me that Tegan would not be allowed to attend school. In front of Mr. Selman, this is the same fight we've had in 2 years, and it is not appropriate. They're not following New Mexico law in any shape, form, or fashion.
Can a parent opt out of all vaccines, some vaccines, or one vaccine, or what is the law in that regard?
There is different options offered by the Department of Health. You can opt out of any particular vaccine or all vaccines.
And to opt out, what do you have to present, or what gives you the ability to opt out?
It's the form we have to turn into the state. Has to be notarized, which it was notarized and sent into the state already.
But I mean,
It can be medical or religious.
medical
Because
or
I did
religious.
this.
Yes, ma'am.
In that form, you said this is the second year in a row that your daughter was notified on the first day of school that she could not attend. Did she attend last year on the first day?
She did.
She did. Did she attend today? So I guess what you're asking for is to have a little better communication between, from the nurse to the front office, I guess, is what we need to work on.
We need education provided to staff to follow the law and better communication clearly stated from nurse and front office staff.
Do you have a copy of the law that says that you have 60 days to,
Yes, sir. I
did
do.
you say 60 days to comply or 60 days before?
What it says online is it's 60 days for the state to have proper time to approve or deny vaccination exemption. And the school cannot kick her out in that 60-day period while we are pending approval or denial or whatever.
Okay.
Here's the entire policy. Here's what is approved for the school. It's two stacks, sorry about that.
These are both the same, or?
No, those are a little bit different, but it's also included on the New Mexico immunization law. And then there's also a handbook that all schools have access to as well, that say that she cannot be kicked out of school for 60 days pending the approval.
Well, Mr. Sumlin, would you like to?
Yeah, well, first off, I don't see anywhere in any of the law or policy that says that we can't kick them out within that 60-day period. It says in there that the forms need to be submitted 60 days before the first day of school, so we have that 60-day approval time, okay? It talks about in the law about in process, and kids that are in process can attend school. But when they talk about in process, because it even gives you the definition in the law, in process, it talks about immunizations. It doesn't talk about exemptions, you know, those seeking exemptions. The in process is those who have their immunizations, but they still need another one, but they've met it up to that, but their other one's not due for, you know, whatever, 6 months or so much. You know, that's in process, so those are the ones that are allowed in school, okay? I can't read, everything I've read, I can't find anything that says a school cannot remove a kid within that 60-day period, because all it says is those forms need to be submitted 60 days prior to the first day of school. So,
And did
I
you
would like to
say?
interject on that, sir. On New Mexico AC Law 7.5.3.8, within 60 days of receipt of request for exemption for immunization, the Department of Health Immunization Program staff shall review and request to determine whether the certificate has been duly completed. This means the New Mexico Department of Health has 60 days to decide. While in process, the school cannot take action.
but that does not say, it does not say while in process.
New Mexico Student Health Manual, Chapter 9. Students whom the school nurse deems in process may continue attending and may register if not attending.
Okay, also chapter 9 on that, it gives a definition. Students whose immunizations are not up to date, who have received all immunizations currently permissible by medical practice, are considered in process. It may be enrolled. That's what it means by in process. It has nothing to do, from what I've seen, it has nothing to do with exemptions. It has everything to do with immunizations and where you fall in your immunization process.
Would this be solved if if you submitted that form in the summer, if you would have submitted it 60
I
days
did
ago?
submit it in the summer
To who?
to the New Mexico Department of
Oh,
Health,
okay.
who has 60 days
Okay.
before they have to view it, before they can even address it. I don't control that, you don't control that,
No.
they don't control that.
So you submitted it 60 days ago, or when?
It was during the summertime, yes.
Yeah.
I submitted mine in May and got it back in the end of June denied, so I had to resubmit. And when I called for a status update, I was told she had 60 additional days.
And all that being said, that's why, well, I didn't feel good denying Tegan to come to school. The best thing for any of our kids is to be in school, you know, and we talked about that, and that's what I told her, and that's what we did, you know. So Tegan is in school, and because of that. But
So-
I'm just saying by the law I read, and, you know, the in-process part has to do with immunizations, not exemptions, you know. So, I mean, we're doing right by Tegan, by the student, you know, for sure, and that's what I want to do, and allowing her to come to school. Because it is in process, but that's not what the in process in the law means.
That's not what the
Right.
definition.
But to
is.
me, you know, a student like Tegan who gets this exemption every year, you know, so we know she's gonna get it, it's just a matter of time, I wouldn't deny her school, you know. And Melissa was just following the law, I mean, that's all Melissa was doing, so, I mean, I met with Melissa, me and Mr. Woods today about that. And I told her my concerns about, you know, yeah, we following the law, we need to follow the law, but I also want to be right by the kid, you know, and I think being in school is the right thing. Which I think that's totally different than a kid who's just is behind on immunizations, you know. So, but that's how you know I read the law, and then because it gives you those definitions of what in process means. But we are doing right by Tegan. She's in school.
Melissa, can you add any to the conversation?
Mr. Salmon told me, asked this morning to meet with me, and we discussed the situation, and it was resolved. I was a little late to the meeting, it's his first day of school, but I'm fine, as long as he supports the whole situation. It used to be, I did contact the state, our Department of Health, and they said that in process applies for immunizations, just like you read, and that for exemptions, for them to be considered in process, she has to provide proof, the parent has to provide proof that the item was mailed in. And so that would be like, I'm not exactly sure what that proof would be, but in the past, when parents have filled out the exemption form, they fill it out, they sign it in front of a notary, and then in the past, they would take a copy and provide a copy to the school that they were doing it, but we had lots of parents who actually weren't mailing it in.
Weren't mailing it in?
Yes, and so that became an issue, and so when we decided, I think it was Mr. Slover was here then, that he said contact all the schools in the county, so I did, and they all follow that same procedure right there that we've been following, so I just upgraded it so that we weren't chasing students around for, or parents all year long. But I don't have a problem if Mr. Selman wants to do it that way, I don't have a problem with that. So.
Did y'all provide, I think you said evidence of when you mailed it or whatever?
I emailed Melissa on 7/28 that I was still waiting on it.
Well, I mean, to the Department of Health, is that what I understood? The Department of Health requires evidence that
No,
you mailed it?
that's what that's what the Department of Health told me today,
Today.
was that to consider an exemption form in process if we wanted to do that, because we do get audited. We haven't so far, not on fake wood where we find it. That covers us or whatever too. So today, I did email Stephanie about you know, because we were trying to figure out how can we know that she was in process, you know, because she's not going to be able to come back and say, well, I did mail it on this date. Well, maybe she can, I don't know. But so we were thinking, well, if she got a response from the state and is having to resubmit, that's what we were asking, so that we would have something to show, you know, because it's not going to have any personal information, I don't think, on it. I haven't seen one in a long time, so, you know.
So-
She's not the, I mean, that's not the only student who, you know, submitted and didn't get one back, you know, so it is for any students that have that, but when you have several students, and it can become a lot.
Right. So for Melissa to consider this to be in process, the Department of Health has said that that you need to provide.
No, sir, that's not the way that works either. The Department of Health, when we mail it into them, so let me read the email to you today from the Department of Health. Good afternoon. Due to the high volume of parents and guardians calling to check status, I am asking parents and guardians to at least give me 30 days before checking on status of exemption form. I currently am waiting on all past 30 due days. By Marissa Valencia, Department of Health.
I will back her. I called and got that same thing told to me on the phone because I was
And
checking for my second.
So the Department of Health is telling y'all one thing, they're telling her something else. And-
There's
I can't
so
verify
many
that.
out there, yeah.
Right, right, so it's, I mean, they're kind of putting us, the school, in between you and the Department of Health is what they're doing. So the long and the short of it is, your daughter did attend school today. She was inconvenienced or embarrassed or frustrated by the response that she got from staff, but that was resolved. And my only suggestion would be to please send it in earlier next year and have documented.
When you send it.
Yeah, when you send it.
I sent mine with the red receipt.
I'm sorry.
I said I always send mine with the receipt from the post office that says they have received it.
Okay, well, that,
But
I mean,
that would be what you need there.
Yeah.
That would be,
Right, and if you can provide that to her, then it's in process. And of course, next year, they'll Department of Health will tell Melissa something different. They'll say
Amen.
that return receipt request isn't good enough or whatever, but again, your daughter's in school, and I'm sorry for the frustration that you feel, but
So I
we're
want
doing
to-
everything we can.
I want to read something to you.
Okay.
This is New Mexico law vaccination exemption form processing and school authority form. Role limits of the school staff. Secretary may collect and forward documents but has no legal authority to approve, deny, or comment on validity. School nurse may verify that exemption request was submitted and is in process but cannot override New Mexico Department of Timelines or remove student from pending. Principal or superintendent ensures compliance with state law, but still cannot approve or deny. New Mexico Department of Health is the only one that has final authority.
Well, right, we're not the final authority, but they can remove students from school.
Now, what I,
Those are guidelines, I understand those are guidelines, that's not the law. Mr. Selman has read the law, and I understand what you're saying, though, that's what the guidelines were last year. Next year, they might be something different, I understand that. But again, I want to move on from this, and the bottom line is your daughter did attend school today, and we'll work with you to see that the process works better next year. And there's steps you can do, and there's steps we can do, and we're going to work together to make sure that it happens.
yeah, we always want it to be a smooth process, you know, last thing I wanna do is go have to remove a kid from school. I mean, believe me, I'm for them being here in school, and that'll get better and better as we learn more and more, and, you know, just know that, you know, like I told you earlier, just, you know, trust me, I'm gonna do right by Tegan. I'm always gonna I'm always gonna do my best to do right by the students, you know, and I hope you understand that.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing it together to us. Thank you. Anybody else?
I do.
Okay.
So where are the swings that go on the swing set in the elementary playground area? They have always swing on those swings, and where are they?
They are out of condition.
Our swings are out of compliance. They're in a bad spot. They don't have the correct surfacing. We're working really hard with our Palms and Associates. We're in the process of spending, you know, we're probably talking $1 million on playground equipment right now, all in the process of getting the.
And we have approved that, right?
Yeah, well,
Yes.
we've approved the equipment. We're still waiting on the prices for the surfacing. Those swings that are over there against the highway, they're too close to the trees, they're too close to the asphalt sidewalk that's around it.
They no longer make the
That,
correct
yeah,
ones for them,
the
right?
old cast iron, the really good heavy duty
Clamps.
clamps and swivels that are on the top, they wear out all the new equipment because all the new stuff is really soft. And I bought stuff from School Specialty, from different swing places, and because we can't find the right hardware that goes on those, because the pipe's an odd size, so you can't buy the right hardware that fits on that pipe anymore. And the stuff that we've tried to go up there just doesn't work.
I think that's insurance though, that's.
Yeah,
that's not-
and but the main thing is that this last go around whenever we did the walk through the playground, they shut our swing set down.
Palms, you mean the insurance did or Palms? Palms and Associates is different than the insurance?
No, there are.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're the ones that shut it down.
Okay.
Safety.
All right, so, and when you say, that the surface isn't right, you mean the ground?
Well, you know, there's been sand on the playground for forever, you know, and we put more sand, and the kids, you know, take the sand home, you know, have sand in your carpet, you know. But it's not so much about the sand, it's the amount, the distance. From the top swivel point on that is sitting like, I don't remember, was it 10 foot? 10 or 12 foot, whatever it is. So you have to have a time and a half of that surfacing around it.
Right.
Okay, so instead of having from the bottom of the swing where the swing hangs, instead of 10 foot back, you have to have, and I think it's 12 foot. So whatever time and a half of 12 is, you know, so 18 foot. Okay, you have to have 18 feet all the way around that.
All the way around.
You know, with whatever the surfacing is, they don't like the sand. You have to have, I don't remember, it's 12 inches of soft sand all the way around it, or so many inches of wood chips around it, and that's not the issue. The issue is, well, mainly the elm tree that's directly behind the swing set.
And the
It's too
hardware.
close.
Yeah.
And the
Fence as
asphalt.
The asphalt and the
Too close to the
sidewalk.
fence.
Yeah, so it's, and besides, I bought all new swings, chains.
Yeah.
That was in I bought the first set in 22 and changed it all out, and that they're just making it harder and harder to keep stuff together because it just falls apart. It's soft, sorry metal,
Yeah.
and the material's bad. You know, I'd replaced the little bucket swings and the little red swings that are on the yellow equipment for the, I don't remember, 4 to 8 year old equipment. That's the little stuff on towards the big bus barn, and it's doing fine. But that equipment is designed to have those certain type of S-hooks and stuff that you can get now. That old equipment that's over there up against the highway, you just can't get the right hardware to put it back together.
But they're out of compliance anyway,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but they're out of compliance.
They've taken them
That's
out.
the main thing.
And we're working, you know, when Mr. Selman stepped in July, we hit him in the mouth pretty hard with all this playground stuff. And we're working, we're ready to, and like I told him, whenever they get all of our stuff okayed for the playground, well, we're gonna shut that playground down. The kids are gonna have to play inside for a little while in the gym or whatever it takes so that the construction company can come in and put all of our $1 million worth of stuff in. So we're working on it. And we call and it's just it's a ruthless process.
Like I said, we've done the equipment and stuff like that, we're just waiting on, we've
Yep,
approved the design.
yeah,
for
we
it,
already approved the
we've
design
all
on it.
that. Now
Yep.
we're waiting on them to come back with the price.
Yeah.
And that's been, again, we're waiting on them, so.
Ain't
We're,
that-
we're working on it really hard. I promise we are.
Okay. Also have a concern with the chain that's on the side of the elementary school.
The what?
The chain that's on the side of the elementary school.
You mean?
That all the kids have to go under or over to get to the playground in the mornings. What's it gonna take to get a fence and a gate put in?
Just money.
Then let's find it.
No, actually, that was gonna be our drop-off area that we going to put another $1 million in there. So,
We,
that's another future plan in the next couple of years for drop-off plan.
So a chain where kids could run and choke themselves is okay, or a runner that's a disabled child can go around that building and be on the highway.
well, they can't get on the highway because the fence
Yes,
is there.
they most definitely can.
Well, how are they gonna get on the highway?
Walk down the fence and go right into the highway.
Okay. What we've talked about doing is moving not moving, adding a fence, where the chain is, not where the chain is, from the end of the auditorium and going, east to where the chain starts, and then going south, to the end of that pavement, and then going east to that other fence, and having a gate in there, and having a drop off there where people can drive down that road and open that up where the cars can go out to the main highway there. We've talked about doing that. We've been waiting on Lasco to give us some quotes for that, and that will block that in where, of course, they can still go through a gate, right? A runner could go through the gate and then get out on the
It's a smaller
highway.
section, and you can also put a higher up block, so kids cannot get through there.
Yeah,
Just
they
like the
can.
other one in the back.
Hell, they'll
by the
climb it.
baseball field,
Yeah,
is a chain.
they can get through.
Well, by then, a teacher should see them climbing it. Where the teacher, right now, you have 2 or 3 teachers out there on the playground watching how many elementary students are out there at one time.
The biggest group would probably be, if they're all out there, it's gonna be 122 at a time.
But that's gonna be
No,
closed off, but
118.
Eventually, when.
We've been here for 3 years, this is year 4 of this chain.
well, it's been longer than that. but that's-
Exactly, so let's do something about it. Find the funds and let's do something about it that's not gonna harm a child. Those children, y'all are forcing to walk around the school and have to go under that chain every morning.
They don't have to go under the chain.
They can go over it, I
I
guess.
guess over it? Where
They
is
can-
there a gap that those children are walking
Between the
through?
auditorium and the,
No,
That's pipe.
there's pipe.
there's a pipe there?
There is pipe fencing of what, 3 foot off the ground all the way down to the chain. And the chain goes to the fence.
Okay. Well, we're working on that, so we'll take care of it
Like
when
a
the.
lot of other stuff y'all are working on. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, they had asphalt underneath the swings when I was in school, and I got bunged up, and I ain't no worse for it.
Exactly.
And now you gotta get sand 18 feet.
We're not
I mean,
worried.
hell, I fell on rocks out there underneath the deal. I mean, we're trying to do the best we can. But, I mean, good
Years
gosh.
of that. It's a fence and it's a highway, a main highway coming through our city.
There's a fence across there where you can't get to the highway, but we're not gonna discuss that anymore. Does anybody else have anything?
I do. The open house that I had mentioned last month about having, and you said, no, just go over there, take your granddaughter, let her check the school out. So I went during registration, and they said, no, you can't go back there because it's a mess still. They're moving stuff around or whatever. So we were denied. So then we go back last Thursday to do it. The place is locked up. So we go and we walk down in front of the office, past the gym, to the cafeteria. Nobody to be found. The teacher for probably in a conference or something, I don't know, but still, again, denied. So she didn't know where to go again, didn't know her teacher. I mean, 25 new students that we have this year. It was chaotic this morning, dropping your kid off because no one knew where to go. They don't know to go behind the school, drop your backpack, most kids had 2 bags, they couldn't carry everything because like they had all their school supplies. If you had an open house, meet the teacher night, that'd all be taken care of. And it's just, you just have to do it for an hour or 2 hours at night. I mean, one night. Let your teachers go home early one day during in-service. Let them come back for a couple hours or an hour or whatever to do all this. It was kind of chaotic this morning.
It was
Even
really
at pickup,
crazy
there were parents
because
in
it's
the parking lot.
changed,
We've
and
never
someone
had that
said, "Well,
many new
you know
kids."
what it's like because you went to school here." I said, "But it's changed, so I didn't take Grant to the right place this morning." And I did ask, "Where do I take you?" And they said, "Here." So when I took him back in the office, I should have taken him around, and I didn't know that either. So I do think we need to do something to kind of help guide. And
We
then,
used
like,
to
there
do
was a
that.
sea of
We can
kids
easily do it.
in the offices. I mean, I felt bad for this. They were trying to handle that, and it makes it chaotic for them to start their work day and the kids' school day. It's kind of chaos.
Ms. Hope, can you address that next year?
Yes. I think it'll be, we used to do it, and COVID kind of cut that off, and the way they made us start school during the fair and how all that was going, that messed it all up. So I think, we used to do it during our community cookout, and that worked out pretty well, but we got away from that too, because, it was no longer safe. So, yes, we can definitely, and I agree, there's a need. I was scrambling kids all over the hall this morning because they're, carrying all their stuff. They don't know where to go. The parents want to meet the teachers, so 100% agree with you on that.
Thank
We'll
you.
make that happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if we do wind up having a community cookout, we can do it,
Yeah, but
in
that's
conjunction.
after.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
this
and
year
that-
it's
I mean,
after, but next year.
They're
before.
nervous before they start school.
Yes.
I mean, this was a 5th grader, and you know how the cliquish 5th graders are and stuff, and she was just concerned, where am I going? And she was a little bit upset, a 5th grader, upset because she didn't quite
And for the
know.
benefit of the parents to meet the teachers, we could still
Yeah.
fit it in this year if that
Yeah.
works out, but next year we'll do it. We will.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
So I was advised to attend a board meeting by the State of New Mexico Public Education Department on, I'm glad Ms. Hogue is here, and I'm not here to badmouth her or anything, but at the end of the school year, she threatened my husband and my son that she could make sure that Conrad wouldn't be able to enroll into the school over, like he got in trouble in his classroom. It was just between a bunch of the classmates, and so we just went to go talk, Kevin talked to her. I couldn't attend it that morning, so this was the next day after he got in trouble. So I asked, what can be done about it? Like, I don't think you should talk to parents that way or threaten a student in that way. And I went all summer long thinking, am I gonna get a phone call from the school if hey, Conrad can't come to school here? And, it's very upsetting, and Conrad's just like, have they called you? And I'm like, what are you doing? You misbehaved. You didn't do anything really bad. Like, I try and talk to him, be respectful, whatnot. So they said I needed to attend this board meeting so that you could tell me your policy on that kind of verbal intimidation.
On what?
On verbal
Verbal
intimidation. Yes.
On verbal intimidation
Yes.
from staff?
From your elementary principal, yes. And that wasn't the first time that Ms. Hogan said that. Earlier in the year, she told me that she could make sure Conrad didn't get to enroll, and I put it behind me. I thought, okay, I'll talk to Conrad and whatever, and then Conrad had to go back to see her, and it's not like he's just this, I'm gonna be a bad kid. He's not. He just hangs out with the wrong kids, honestly. And he's not perfect. He's 9 years old. He's loud. He's a teacher, he doesn't get to come to school here. So when I spoke to a representative from the department, they said that I need to hear your policy and what can be done. Or, like I said, I'm not here to badmouth or be negative about that, but it doesn't sit right with me that she said that, you know, so.
Well,
Yeah, that she threatened, yeah, it was more than one time, and it is a threat, so.
and there is what?
I said, it's a threat, I felt like it was just threatening me.
Well, this is something that does not need to be discussed in an open session. We're not gonna, we don't have anything to hide it as to what our policy is for verbal threats or verbal intimidation. You need to, what you need to do is come down here and meet with Mr. Selman, and he can provide that with you. He can give you anything that you need as far as that. And if you have worked, the documentation that you have, that you feel that Conrad was, that you feel your son was subject to, he can address it. If after he does what he does or doesn't do to your satisfaction, at that point, you can bring it back to the board, and there's no action that can be taken tonight on this.
Yeah, I did address it to Mr. Sloan after Kevin spoke with her that morning. I said, we'll just drive over to the superintendent's office, and he literally just says, well, what are you gonna do about it? There's a week of school. So that's why I picked the phone up and I made that phone call, and they advised me to come here, and, you know, so do I go tell him, hey, this is what happened at the end of the school year? Whether and I'm not asking for her to lose her job or to risk her license. I don't want to do that. I just think she should be spoken like somebody from the board, or whoever, the superintendent, whoever needs to tell her, like, that's not okay to do that. It's really not.
It's not her school.
It's not. Yeah, it's
Each one.
it's not her school to begin with, you know? And I understand, like, yeah, she has to take care of the elementary. And I've always told Ms. Holcomb, like, I will respect what you think we should do between the kids. I mean, there was an incident with my daughter, and I said, okay, you know, if you think that's best, let's do it. But I felt like that's crossing the line, like that's not okay, so if it's not something that we need to address here, do I just set an appointment
Yes.
with the superintendent, and, you know, who's gonna be there, like, and then
Who will be here?
it would just be him?
They told you to come here to this meeting.
Yeah, I mean, I was advised to address it here by the.
And for you to show her,
Well, what you said, the PD told you to come down here
Yeah.
and find out what the policy
Yeah, what
is.
your policy is on your staff being able to speak to.
So what he's saying is, because we're on air and everything has to be so public now, for the protection of your son, they can't sit here and Robin can't say her side of the story of what maybe would have happened in the classroom with your son, and you wouldn't want to say your side because you're on air right now. So what he's saying is to take it into private discussion, give Selman a chance to mitigate the situation between you and Ms. Hogue, and not do it publicly because that's not fair to your son. And there's certain things
it
that,
hasn't been fair for him.
I'm sorry?
It hasn't been fair for him.
Right, but we also have to give Selman a
From the
chance.
very beginning, it hasn't been fair for him. Because he felt targeted to
Mhm.
begin with.
Yeah.
The last day, whenever they had that field trip,
Mhm.
he came to school trying to behave the best he could, because we knew, as parents, I'm his grandma,
Mhm.
we knew that they were gonna target him and find a way for him not to go to the field trip. And he did have to. And he wasn't the one that was causing the problem.
Yeah.
And they know who he was. But they had to target Conrad, they had to get him out of that. He behaved, and to me, he's being taught to lie so the teachers can get their way. Because he didn't do nothing that day, but because it's always Conrad, and Conrad they blame him, and he says, I didn't say a word. And the teacher that said that he did, I don't know how she said that he did it, or said it, because he had her back, his back towards her. So there's no way that she could say, oh, Conrad said it, because she wasn't looking at Conrad. She's seen the other kids, but not Conrad. But they're always targeting Conrad. Conrad got in trouble.
Well,
And they told her to come
Ms.
here.
Bronze, the issues that you're talking about go back to last year and the end
No,
of
it
the
didn't end last year,
The
because
end of
nobody
the
did
school.
nothing about it.
They go back to the
And
end of the school.
something has to be done.
Something's not going to be done tonight. You can bring your concerns, you have expressed your concerns here tonight. As the board, we listen to them. We're not going to take any action. We're not going to do anything or say anything that's going to make you feel better. The only way that you're going to feel better is to talk to Mr. Selman, talk to the superintendent, have a meeting with the superintendent. Understand you did that last year. The board is unaware of that, and that person is no longer here. So I understand that. We need to start new this year and give the superintendent a chance to address the issues that you have.
I would just say, give me an opportunity, I'm new, give me an opportunity to fix it, and I'll address it with Ms. Hogue and all that, and we'll, give me that opportunity.
Of course,
You
that's
do that,
something
and I
that,
promise
that's
we'll-
definitely something as Conrad's mom that I do want to do, like I do want to start practicing. I'm worried all day, I'm like, how was school today? He was great. I said, okay, how was his women with us, and he's home teacher. And he's like, she was really nice to me. I said, all right, be the same way all year, like, I do want to do that. It's to start first thing, like I don't like confrontation. But when it's not fair, I want to discuss it with you guys. And I understand what you're telling me. I need to set a meeting with him, and I will do that. And like I said, I'm not here to badmouth the principal at all. But I just need you to understand, or they told me to come here to figure out, your policy on what they staff can and can't say to parents and students. So I guess that's something I'll discuss with you.
Right. Well, just know we don't ever want students to feel intimidated or feel like they're threatened or targeted or anything like that. I definitely don't want kids to ever feel that.
So we can negotiate.
Well, I guess I could just call the office tomorrow and set an appointment with you and just go from there. And I had even thought in my mind, like, maybe we could sit down with Ms. Hogue and me or whoever, which.
Well, it would be more than me, because I don't know his history here at school.
Yeah.
So I would need Ms. Hogue with me, because I just need to know that whole history
Yeah,
of
okay.
everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But no, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I appreciate this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, any more public information?
Lee County Fair sale made, well, according to the Fair Board, 1,000,000,
1,006,000 something was the.
that was
last
the
number I
paper.
heard.
I heard 1,014,750 is what the Fair, or the Lee County said. But
And
then the
about-
paper said, yeah, the like.
Yeah, About 326,000 was TMS.
320.
That was what Sheldon kind of told me, she kept track of it, so it's pretty good.
That's amazing.
You know, and they have several that were grand champions or reserve or.
And that's not counting add-ons. Add-ons are usually a lot, especially because
They got
that
2 weeks
non-sale
right on
list
that or
was
something.
huge because they've added, the little bitty ones and all the horse people and all that. Anybody that doesn't make the sale, it's a big, long list, and so that's a big number.
Then they get 2 weeks to go put that in.
Yeah, there's still
and
2
then
weeks to even do more add-ons.
add-ons.
It's pretty exciting.
Anything else? No? Okay, Carissa, can you hear us? Oops, we can't hear you yet.
What do I need to do?
Just, where's it, no, 'cause that's.
Man, all I need to do.
Rusty, you're the
Nope.
IT guy.
Maybe check the mute, that little arrow on mute and see if it's muted.
Where
Read
at?
that earlier, we,
Yeah,
we
this,
had
yeah,
needed it a while ago.
yeah, that's muted.
Unmute.
Unmute.
Can you say something, Carissa? Yeah, we still can't hear you.
If you double click on that speaker, if you double click on the speaker,
Right here?
yeah.
Check your audio output by the mute button where it says other options.
Hang on.
Do you want to make a phone call?
Do you have that?
How about on the top tab, is there a, yeah,
That's just here. Click that, it'll make you go away.
Don't do that.
That we have.
hmm? Well, while we're waiting on that, Ms. Hogue, can you give us, your report?
I can. So, I feel like it. We have, by the time we get the threes in, we'll have 123 new students, new to the district students.
120?
I'm not, 123 total, 23 new.
Okay.
And so 3 brand new in pre-K, 4 brand new in kinder, 3 in first, 2 in second, 1 in third, 1 in fourth, 5 in fifth, and 2 in sixth. And then I also had on here to talk about the meet the teacher. So we do want to do that next year. Our total right now, when the threes come in, will be 122, which is up 1 from last year. So we lost a big 6th grade class and did not bring in as big of a kinder class, but we made that up with a lot of new kids, and they're about half actual in-district kids. So that's why the big confusion this morning. It was a lot of people who had no idea what to do. So I would like to better prepare for that next year, and we can definitely make that happen. And also, I can give you these really quick to look over. What this is that fellows thing I talked to you about earlier. Do you remember that? So we were granted those funds. And we talked about, I just got this today. I want you to see it before we make the decision. And so what it is it's $44,000 to pay benefits and salary for what would be an educational aide. And it can't be somebody that's already on the payroll, and they have to be a college student attending college, preferably in the education field. And I know of one young lady who could possibly be interested. I called her today after I got this, just to see, and she is a Tatum graduate who's in college. So hopefully we can work that out with her, but it's somebody that's learning, basically, to be a teacher before they even student teach. They'll be doing all kinds of teacher things, helping lesson plan, helping interventions, an extra set of hands and an extra pair of eyes. And so they do have time to do their schoolwork allotted in there. And of course, she said she would use that to do her driving to class. But that is, our responsibility on that would be a stipend for her mentor teacher and a stipend for her, or her or him, whoever we hire. But that comes out to, I think, $3,600 to $3,800 a year. on our part, and then RAC does the rest.
And I was kind of distracted a little bit when you first started out. So this is a, between the REC, a memorandum between REC and Tatum Schools, and this person would be, as a first-time